Entitled passengers is a real thing. Regardless if you're driving for Uber or Lyft, there will ultimately come a time when a passenger is being asked to exit the vehicle and they are refusing to do so. But what about the flip side, where it is the passenger requesting to be allowed to get out of the vehicle and the driver is refusing to grant his wish? What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. This one is a doozy, folks. We don't get too many of these, but oddly enough, we've had two in the last week. Check out the title of this. Uber driver runs from police with customer inside, MPD says. Running from the police with a passenger still inside the vehicle. What the hell? Here goes. Memphis, Tennessee. An Uber driver is being charged with aggravated kidnapping after police say he initiated a police chase with a customer inside. Not a lot that can be done here. Obviously, the customer is begging, let me out, let me out. I'm going to tell you how the charges here could have been lessened by the driver, but I want you to hear something else about this story that goes outside of the fact that this driver is running from the police with a passenger in the vehicle that doesn't want to be there. There's another issue here that could ultimately result in a denial of an insurance claim. Check this out. Wednesday, the victim's friend ordered him an Uber to pick him up in the Shelby Farms area. Johnson, driving a white Infiniti, got him, and they began traveling on Sam Cooper when he allegedly ran a red light at Tillman. What do you think the insurance issue is that we just discussed? Remember, it says that the victim's friend ordered him to ride. So here the victim is in an Uber that's running from police, but he's not the one that ordered it. When you order an Uber for someone else, remember the Uber account's supposed to be used for you. When passengers pick you up, they're expecting you to get in the car. But when someone else gets in a vehicle, if that vehicle is in an accident, can you be sure that Uber will cover the victim? Because at the end of the day, I don't know. If you folks, let me know in the comments for my veteran drivers. What do you think? If a customer requests a trip for someone else and the customer themselves is not in the vehicle, is this other individual covered? Remember, you don't have their name, they're not in the app, none of that. This is a trip requested for a friend, and that friend is in the vehicle. Is the friend covered if something happens? Because in this case, a little bit of something exactly will take place. Continuing on. MPD says they approached the passenger side. Remember, he had ran a red light. MPD says they approached the passenger side so that they would not be in oncoming traffic. But Johnson slightly opened the window. The passenger says he opened his window to let the officers know that he was doing an Uber ride. The officer then walked to the driver's side, but Johnson did not let down the window. So the Uber driver, referred to here as Johnson, has ran a red light. Police have flashed the car, pulled the car over, and they approached on the passenger side. They didn't want to be in traffic, so they're asking, trying to get information. The driver don't even want to let the window down. So the passenger in the back seat lets it down. Listen, I'm on an Uber, man, whatever the case may be. The cops walk around to the driver's side of the vehicle, and once again, the Uber driver is refusing to let the window down. Ultimately, the Uber driver took off, and this is where the police chase ensued. Passengers still in the vehicle. Police say Johnson then led them on a police chase running traffic lights. He eventually slowed down to 20 miles per hour on Union Avenue, and the passenger was able to hop out. He stated that his body was sore and he was in fear for his life. So understand, when we talked about insurance earlier, the passenger is saying that he was injured, saying his body felt sore and things like that. It's not a major injury, but it is settlement material. But as we stated, will he be covered? Because he is not the individual that is the owner of the Uber account. That might be on him. But here is what the driver ultimately faced in terms of charges. Aggravated kidnapping. But in addition to aggravated kidnapping, Cordarius Johnson, what the hell of a name is that? 23 years of age, is also charged with intentionally evading arrest in an automobile and disregarding a red light. Notice there's not many other charges. He was charged solely with what happened here. Police have not stated, why the hell did he run? Everything he was charged with, aggravating kidnapping by not letting the passenger out, running a red light and evading arrest in the car. Why did you take off to begin with? I don't hear about no weed. I don't hear about no drugs and no firearms. They just took off and ran and led to all of this shit. Now, we mentioned one of these charges could have been avoided. The aggravated kidnapping. That is taking off with a passenger in a vehicle. The other charges are a little bit less. Evading arrest in a vehicle, running a red light. The aggravated kidnapping is probably the worst charge. Easily avoidable. Turn around, look your passenger dead in the eye and say, I'm about to take off. Get the fuck out the car. No! Get out. I'm about to run. Simple as that. Passenger ain't going to hesitate to do that shit. And there goes the aggravated kidnapping charge. Just tell the dude to get out. The story tells you that he was asking to get out, and the driver closed the door and kept him in. So why he would deliberately accrue and acquire an aggravated kidnapping charge makes no sense. But here is the follow-up bullshit that we normally get from Uber or Lyft anytime any of us are dealing with a major issue. We can't imagine how scary this must have been for the rider, and we're relieved that no one was injured, basically. The driver's actions are unacceptable, and we've removed his assets to the Uber app. We stand ready to support law enforcement with their investigation. I believe this type of shit comes straight out of their artificial intelligence department. I don't care if somebody runs, somebody gets murdered, or somebody vomits in the back of a vehicle. They send this same shit every time. Well, we removed him from the app. That does no one any good. The passenger who had to jump out of a moving car, okay, you removed him from the app. Who gives a damn? He's in jail now. But as we stated earlier, notice in Uber's response, it's unacceptable. We removed the driver from the app. We're working with law enforcement. What about the passenger that is suggesting his body is sore and he was fearful for his life? You don't hear them saying anything about, well, we're going to look out for the passenger. His whereabouts is our concern. None of that. They didn't even suggest the guys in their thoughts and prayers. I think their statement almost comes across as fuck him. He didn't belong in the car anyway. But to conclude and close the video down, what do you guys think? If his body was sore, say he got some bruises on him, say he got some mental anguish from being in a police chase when he didn't expect one that was against his will, and he did put in a lawsuit with Uber, you think they're going to try to fight it? Think they would cover this guy? Remember, he is not the passenger. He is not on the app as the account holder. He is someone the account holder rented a trip from and just got in the car. And also, it certainly leads to a discussion on clearly the driver did not pay attention to who's getting in his car either, because when you show up, you're supposed to verify the name of the passenger. This clearly wasn't that dude. Think he'll be covered on insurance? As always, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.